Over the past 20 years, there have been artists that have passed away, bringing their legacy to an unfortunate halt. Unless they have posthumous releases, which I spoke about in this video, that's pretty much the end of their run. The interesting thing is that if they were still around, there's a possibility that the entire music scene would sound completely different. I want to share my picks of some people who would have completely changed everything if they were still around.
Here's where it all happened at the Southside House. Meet DJ Screw, the man who has created a new sound.
When I first started, I thought it would be alright, but when people got to listen to it and feel it, it really jumped off. I know it was going to get this big.
He DJs at nightclubs, and now he's come up with a new twist on rap music that is taking him from the underground to the mainstream.
DJ Screw, born in 1971 in Smithville, Texas, did so much for music that it's honestly going to be a little difficult to explain. Think about this. You know how some songs sound cooler when they're slowed with a little bit of reverb? You ever hear a completely different version of a song where it basically sounds like it's on lean? You can absolutely thank DJ Screw for that. While back in the 90s, it wasn't slowed with a reverb, it was chopped and screwed. He would sell cassette tapes of his DJ mixes from his drive-by to people who would pass by his residence, which is how he built his name in the first place. You gotta think, this is back when people couldn't just post their music on the internet and send terrible links to every single person you see or drop your song under comments on Twitter. You literally had to physically get your music out there. Being in South Houston, it was basically the heart of sipping codeine cough syrup, and somehow this heavily influenced the way his mixes were made, basically revolutionizing remixing music by using techniques like skipping beats, scratching records, and using the time stop effect in his mixes. Even that thing that some artists do in their song where it starts in a random part of the song then it cuts to the beginning, that's also DJ Screw. Here's some examples of his influence.
Ice in my cup, and my diamonds they be dripping. Ice in my cup.
Bands in my pocket, H-Town nigga, bitch, I'm ballin' like a rocket. All about a profit, young black prophet. Six got the bitch, I'm back in Hot Topic.
Sipping this into my cup,
Not a tripping guy. I'm at the stars.
Most people think DJ Screw, Big Mo, and Pimp C died from overdosing from lean, but in all reality, they actually had pre-existing health complications, whereas the syrup contributed to their deaths. Although there's no telling, I think if he was still around, he would have changed the entire scene. Whether or not this would have played out is up to you, but since his influence is still in most DJ mixes and most songs, if you look around hard enough, I think it's pretty safe to say he's very impactful. Rest in peace to DJ Screw, a real innovator.
A lot of people were very sad about, losing him. He was a local hero. He wasn't just a DJ or a musical icon, he was a hero. You know what I'm saying? He gave a lot of guys careers, followings. People still take care of their families because of their association to DJ Screw.
I'm just like an underground radio station, you know what I'm saying?
For the streets.
For the streets.
I mean, it's kind of like what's the word, a paradox, because you can't have a pro era. So like, I took that and I was like, yo, let's start a pro era. And we just like, yo, let's be productive and progressive and professional and procrastinators. And then we ended up here, honestly.
Oh, we're 90s rappers. This is not the 90s. We're not 90s rappers. This is the music that we have playing in our head and we went and we got done. Like, this is just our music. It's not 90s music. I mean, it could be 90s influence, but it's 2012, so just don't throw that label on us.
I was around 13 or 14 the first time I ever heard STEEZE, and the first song I ever heard was called Apex. Now if you want to go pause this video and listen to that song, when you come back you'll understand that I thought this song was from the 90s. I immediately added it to my playlist. Imagine my shock when I realized that he was a part of a whole collective of artists that rapped just like this. Named Pro Era, short for the Progressive Era, this rap collective based from Brooklyn, New York consisted of Joey Badass, STEEZE, Diamond Lewis, Dirty Sanchez, CJ Fly, Nick Caution, Aaron Rose, and others. Now this isn't about Pro Era, but let me know if you guys want a video on that because I love these guys. STEEZE began rapping under the name STEEZE at the beginning of his high school days and became notorious for how well he could freestyle and put together different flows as quickly as he could.
Excuse my supercilious nation, pushing the tape back is doing spitters a favor. Cause I was told that women will come with age and bitches will come with fame. The difference is nothing changed. I'm still on point as a syringe, but nowadays they just need an appointment to stick it in. I'm too in depth for simpletons who care about spinning rims, cause I got a liquid pen to rip your skin. side note, this is a suicide note. With the charm to help the girl reduce the
Joey Badass even says he knew who he was before he met him over 12 years ago. They eventually formed the group Pro Era along with their classmates CJ Fly and Powers Pleasant. Capital STEEZE was fixated on the number 47 because he believed that it represented a perfect expression of balance in the universe between the 4th chakra, the heart, and the 7th chakra, the mind. His impact made it so far in such a short amount of time that even Barack Obama's daughter was wearing a Pro Era t-shirt at one point. Throughout most of his extremely short career, he always seemed to have an outsider perspective throughout his verses, constantly taking shots at the music industry and America as a whole. During an interview, he stated, "Nothing on the outside world seems to make me happy." It's very clear that while he was a talented artist who helped create a plethora of talented individuals, he was dealing with a lot of demons mentally, something that only he could understand in his own mind. Capital STEEZE tragically took his own life by jumping off of the CMG headquarters in New York, but not before tweeting out to his entire fan base, "The end." Eerily enough, people would quickly notice that the date he took his life added up to a total of 47. Whether or not that's a coincidence is completely up to you. Joey Badass still to this day is affected by this loss, as almost a year ago exactly he dropped the song Survivor's Guilt, which is a tribute to STEEZE and his cousin Junior B, who had also passed away. It's clear that Capital STEEZE needed some serious help, and it's so weird to miss someone that I've never met. If Capital STEEZE was still around, I think Pro Era would be on top of the game right now for a lot of people, and unfortunately we'll never get to see how his career would have projected. Long live STEEZE.
Everybody is on like a train, you know what I'm saying, on a train car. STEEZE was our conductor, you know what I'm saying? So we all followed him, he all paved the road, and you know what I'm saying, he paved our mindsets, like our ideologies and whatnot. He influenced everything. So when we lost him, it's like we really lost a part of ourselves.
You know what I'm saying? In the building with the dollar speaking knockers, you feel what I'm saying? Sure shot, media, feel what I'm saying? Burst the vet, salute, Big Snoop, L Bird, ENT, you already know, Chaotic Beats, Go Girl, ENT. Shouts out to Sis, you know what I'm saying?
Derek McAllister, aka Speaker KNOCKERZ, was a GOAT. His father was a musician and even inspired him as well. His father going away to prison for 10 years heavily affected him. Inspired by Soulja Boy, he would begin making beats. Soulja Boy was such an inspiration to him because this was 2007 when uploading your music online was starting to become a lot more popular. And after torrenting FL Studio at the age of 13, he would spend every day after school practicing and toying around with the program, eventually learning how to make beats, treating it like a video game.
I make my own beats and I rap to my own beats.
He would then begin uploading these beats on SoundClick. For my younger viewers, SoundClick was basically SoundCloud way before SoundCloud existed. At the rate of at least 3 to 5 beats a day, he eventually would make his first $50 sale. He used the money to immediately buy Logitech speakers for his setup. Life at home and school wasn't the best for him though, as he would drop out of school, and this caused massive issues between him and his mother. He tried getting small jobs to please her, but wasn't getting any callbacks for an interview, making the situation a lot worse. For the next 2 years though, he only worked on music, and when his father was finally released from prison, they began bonding over the shared passion for music. His dad would help him mix and master the beats, and Speaker KNOCKERZ would start to rap on them. His first mixtape, Flight Delay, didn't do too well, but that didn't matter because at this point he was making decent money from selling beats. He ended up producing for people like 2 Chainz, French Montana, and Young Scooter. On March 2nd, 2014, he was reported missing by his family, and unfortunately he was found passed away in his home at just the age of 19 from a heart attack. Hip-hop took a huge loss that day. Speaker KNOCKERZ was always just one step ahead of most of the rap game for the short time that he was around, and if he was around today, he would definitely be at the top, especially with how much has changed at this point. In most modern trap music, you can hear the influence of Speaker KNOCKERZ almost 10 years later. Rest in peace, Speaker KNOCKERZ.
Speaker KNOCKERZ, nigga. Elbow guarantee, sure shot, shit. Talk to him again, bro.
Shit. It's time to turn up, man. There ain't no more games, man. Turn up time, Speaker KNOCKERZ.
Childhood memories fun, running around being bad fights. Get caught for stealing or something, little petty shit like that. Yeah, it's always been a lot of people outside though, for sure. Out here, it's an area where everybody be outside, everybody, like whole blocks be full of shit. And the area stretched from like, what, 75th to 83rd?
King Von was a different breed. In all reality, I believe King Von would be one of the biggest artists in the world right now if he were still here. Real name Devon Bennett. He would always say multiple times that he did not want to be a rapper, but when he started rapping, he was pretty good at it, and most people noticed immediately. Growing up in one of the most infamous places in America, O Block, Devon had most of his needs met by his mother and his stepfather. In school, he was an A and B student, even saying he enjoyed playing baseball until he got to high school. Unfortunately, growing up in South Chicago, you're surrounded by endless violence and poverty. It was almost inevitable that he would eventually get involved.
Yeah, so what led to you being bad? Because if you were getting A's and B's and then...
That school, you see what I'm saying? School over here with the nice teaching and nice people all that. All right, so now I'm going off they from that. Since they nice and being, you know, productive and all, I'm doing my work, I'm in school. But now I'm out of school with the people that ain't doing shit, but on the streets, all they know is being loud, mean, bad, you know, selling drugs, doing this, doing that. So now I'm around them, and now I'm, you know, my environment shit, I'm adapted to that shit.
At just the age of 15, he would catch his first charge of unlawful carrying of a firearm, and unfortunately, this was only the beginning of his massive rap sheet of crimes. He missed out on most of his teenage years, only spending up to 6 months without being in a detention center up until the age of 18. Because Trap Lord Ross did a massive video showing how he was basically a serial killer with a lot of insane evidence, I'm not even gonna get into all of his legal issues. We're just gonna try and focus on the music. In his early days of writing music, he would draw inspiration from his life and even urban novels. He never wanted to go back to jail, but he's gone and said himself that it helped shape him into the person he was at that point. He would link up with Lil Durk in 2018 and began releasing music. Lil Durk would co-sign him and even drop his music videos on his own channel just to help boost him up very early on. After a few songs, he was already gaining a fan base because of his way of rapping and storytelling. It was just refreshing at the time. One of his biggest songs, Crazy Story, would change his life, and with Lil Durk being on part 2, he got way bigger. By this point, he was signed with Lil Durk's label, Only the Family, but unfortunately, King Von couldn't seem to stay out of beef, and this would eventually be the cause of his unfortunate passing.
Tonight, at least 3 people are dead. CBS 46's Barmel Lyons is live tonight near where it happened. Barmel?
Rapper King Von and his group were at Opium nightclub before making their way here to Monaco Hookah Lounge, then to the parking lot where chaos ensued.
A deadly fight erupted in front of Monaco Hookah Lounge. 2 men approached King Von and his group in the parking lot, and an argument ensued. The argument quickly escalating to a shootout between the 2 groups.
On November 6, 2020, a fight ensued between King Von and Quando Rondo's entourage outside of a hookah lounge in Atlanta. This led to a gun being drawn and King Von passing away at the scene at the hands of Lil Tim. This was especially dark because people would go on to call this man a hero because of King Von's dark past and what he may or may not have been doing. It's just really unfortunate and crazy that we won't ever get to see the full arc of what King Von could have become. Rest in peace.
Early, damn! Who was that?
Somebody you follow on Instagram.
I just started following her. How you doing that? I just started like yesterday. I wasn't even just following her.
Who are you?
I am Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD, welcome to Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Neptune Records.
Thank you for having me, man. I'm excited. I'm hyped.
Right off the bat, Juice WRLD, I have a gift for you.
I wasn't the biggest fan of Juice WRLD, but you did not have to be a super fan of him to know that he was a legend in the hip-hop world and still is. His fan base is absolutely massive, to say the least, with people still leaking his songs to this day. Jared Higgins was born in Chicago, Illinois, December 2nd, 1998. He wasn't in a completely terrible part of Chicago though, spending most of his time in the suburbs growing up with a single mother. Black Sabbath, Blink-182, and Fall Out Boy were major influences in his music since his mom wouldn't really let him listen to rap while he was growing up.
Talking about when I was like 6, 7, 8 years old, motherfuckers used to try to bully me for that shit. Cause I listen, and that's not like I only listen to that. I listen to everything. I was listening to Gucci and Wayne. I knew all the lyrics to their songs too. But it came a point in time where I turned on some Fall Out Boy, some Escape the Fate, AC/DC, Billy Idol, Ozzy Osbourne, all these motherfuckers.
Because he couldn't listen to this type of music in his own home, he would go over his cousin's house where he could. When he would return home and recite the lyrics to himself and forget certain parts, he would just fill it in with his own lyrics, discovering that he could freestyle pretty well. Juice WRLD may have been one of the best freestylers of all time, and I will die on that hill.
But you don't know this, focus. Now I got ADD now, swarming like locusts. Who is this? Making hand signs like he deaf or something. That's okay, I be on the beat, spitting fast like Crystal Meth or something. Really is nothing, making assumptions, it's nothing. Make you gonna put you in the oven for no reason or something. I'm the best at it, yes I'm the best at it. I got some bad habits, then again I'ma kill people with words, that's mad magic.
Starting out as Juice the Kid, he would drop his first mixtape, What Is Love, in 2015. To be completely honest, we're just gonna skip over the whole come up story because it's been years and by this point you should know it. Eventually, after years of making music, it was clear that his music was a lot different from what was popular at the time. Juice WRLD was dealing with a lot mentally, which was very apparent in his mixtape 999. Here he would talk about his drug addiction, heartbreak, and other things that were just really depressing. This mixtape dropped on June 15, 2017 and featured the song Lucid Dreams, which to this day is one of his biggest songs, but it wouldn't immediately blow up like you might think. After this tape, he would gain a little bit of buzz, getting a couple thousand plays on his songs, but what really took him to the next level was Cole Bennett noticing him by listening to his song All Girls Are the Same. Lil Bibby would also notice him and offer to sign him immediately to Grade A, which was a label under Interscope Records. Cole Bennett would also do the video for All Girls Are the Same, and by April 2018, the song blew up and was on radio stations. This was his biggest break. Lucid Dreams would be an even bigger hit, especially with the Cole Bennett video along with it. While all of this was going on, he became massive. He got to work with one of his favorite artists of all time, Future. Juice WRLD would tell Future that he inspired him to do drugs at an early age, and this really bothered Future. He would even freestyle for a whole uncut hour on Tim Westwood TV, which is so insane. Like, could you imagine freestyling for a whole hour? I mean, let alone talking for an whole hour. Like, it's insane. At this point, this man was one of the biggest rappers in the world. The crazy thing is that while you think this would make somebody so happy, it didn't. Throughout all of this, he was dealing with the addiction of drugs, anxiety, and being extremely depressed. If you want to see the real darkness of all of it, go watch the Hulu documentary on him called The Abyss. It's extremely upsetting. He will post on his Instagram that he would take a miniature break to celebrate his birthday, and on a flight back from LA to Chicago, he would have seizures after taking a large amount of Percocets in an attempt to hide some of the evidence. This was because the pilot had alerted law enforcement that there were guns and drugs on the plane. On the way to the hospital upon landing, he would be pronounced dead. This destroyed a lot of people, and hip-hop took a major loss that day. In such a small amount of time, he inspired so many people. And I hate to say it, but I think Juice WRLD did more for emo rap than anybody else did. That's just my opinion. Y'all can kill me in the comments if you want to, but it's true. It's tragic, honestly, because he had the potential to be a massive legend for a really long time, and unfortunately, that was cut short. That's why his passing and all the others in this video are considered hip-hop's most wasted potential.
On our freestyles, right? But be able to slip in and out of written when you need to. You know what I'm saying? If you got a certain punchline you want to get to take out this dude, right? So to be so young, he like mastered that so fucking quickly.
Yeah.
It's really sad, man, that like his potential was so off the charts.
Very. I tweeted one time, you know, I like this Juice WRLD kid. And you know, I got some real hardcore boom bap type hip hop lyricist fans that follow me too. And they're like, Juice WRLD, he uses auto-tune. I'm like, yo, I dropped a link to that Westwood freestyle. Like, yo, don't even talk to me, just watch this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?